Hey guys! Today we're going to be continuing my coastal town series, and for today's episode we're going to be building the Florist plant shop. So let's get started. So I found a reference photo on Pinterest for this build, and I think it's by the creator Queen Moon Snow, so creds to her. And I really liked how it had like a classy look to it, so I went with it, but instead of using the original black color that was used, I used a green color palette instead. I really liked the green color that I chose because I felt like it would fit better for this type of town, and I also think that it looks quite different from the rest of the buildings that I have included in this town so far, so I think it was a good idea. Also guys, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm building this in the beach plots of the new map, and I'm just so excited that we do have beach plots now because I feel like this coastal town is going to be absolutely perfect. Bloxburg probably heard my request and I don't know, just was like, oh, she needs a beach plot, and they delivered, so I'm pretty happy about that. I think this will look much more realistic now that we're literally on the beach. Okay, so I decided to not use a decal and instead use structurals to make the sign or like the title of this company or whatever, and it took me so long to do. It honestly wasn't that complicated, but I don't know. It's just working with structurals in Bloxburg is just so weird. So don't look too close because it's not completely symmetrical, but I think it still looks good, so I'm not gonna really fret over it too much. But it did take me a couple of takes, I'm not gonna lie. So I did color and like assemble all my plants off camera, but you can kind of see the type of plants that I picked in the color scheme. It's mostly just green and white and a little bit of beige wood tone, but I decided to use these glass tables as the outside displays because I always see people use like the wooden tables or something, and I feel like it'd be different and it's a more upscale fancy look that I was going for in the first place. Okay, so when it came to the interior of this project, honestly, it was trial and error throughout the whole process. I probably changed these walls a number of times. I remembered that I was really like indecisive with a lot of the color scheme that I wanted to go with because I am voiceovering this like a few weeks after I built this actually. So yeah, I'm trying to remember what I did, but I do remember that inside was kind of iffy at first, but it did come out looking good as you'll see later on. But like the back wall especially, I went from wood to like white and then plain white, then wood again. It's just like I did not know what I wanted, and I thought I knew what I wanted in the first place, but when I physically did it, I didn't like it, and yeah. But for the shelving part, I did like some custom arches, and I think that they came out really cute. I think they really fit the theme that I was going for. It gives very upscale, and I did choose to use like the glass shelves because I thought that would match like the glass theme, so that's why I decided to do that. And you'll see me add some LEDs to them, which I think gave it even more ambience in here because at first the lighting you'll see is not bright at all, especially because I used like such a dark green color. I really had to add some light, but I couldn't add too many lights because obviously in Bloxburg you don't want to like be blinded by so many lights, so I just decided to use some flint, and I think they look pretty cute. So those were basically both sides of the store, and then the back wall was where I really had to figure out what materials I wanted to use. Alright, so when it came to the back wall, I finally ended up deciding on doing a white simple wall and using these pillars with lights on them as a way to add more light and also to add some design to the place that wasn't too over the top but did bring in some dimension to the interior. So I felt like this was the best we were going to get in this case because I needed a space for a big bench that I was going to put in the middle, which you'll see later on, and it also still went along with the theme. I wanted to include a waiting area or seating area for anyone who would just come in and like sit down and wait for their bouquet to be arranged, or maybe they're picking up an order. And so I thought that would be a good idea. So I turned the glass tables into glass benches. So yeah, I think they look pretty nice, and I don't think I've ever seen someone else use them this way, so that was pretty cool. I used the modern waterfall island to make the area where the bouquets would be arranged, and I already know that the new texture smooth rock is literally going to be one of my favorites. Alright, so I'm just decorating all the shelves. So on the right side of the store, we have all the like gardening supplies. So we have like soil, some shovels, plant seeds and stuff like that, and like watering cans, but not too much. I didn't want to bulk up the store too much, really, so I didn't put that much on display. I put like 3 of everything or so. And then on the other part, I put like more of the plant pots and things. So it's like a bunch of plant pots. We have the glass ones, we have like smaller ones, the larger ones on the bottom, and just different shapes. I tried to kind of keep to certain shapes and certain colors, so most of them look similar, but that was intentional. So on the opposite side of the store, which is the left side of the store, I decided to place all the plants on these shelves. And I made sure to use the same small plants that I used outside on display as these ones inside on the shelves. The last thing I did was decorate the assembly portion of the store, so I just put like a bouquet of roses and like a little wrapping station with some boxes and bags and like scissors, tape and things, and just everything that you would need to make a bouquet, some vases and stuff like that, and just tried to make it look like it was someone actively wrapping a bouquet. Alright guys, so we have a pretty short tour today, but here's how it looks so far. And then we go over here and we have all our plants on display. And I just added that painting over there because I thought it was cute. And then over here we have our open sign and some more plants. These are the smaller plants that we have on display. And then let's go inside. Okay, so in here we have our seating area right here, and if we go over to this wall, we have all our small plants that can be picked out and purchased just off of the shelves. And we can come around here to the back wall and make our way across to the other side of the store where we have our vases and we have more gardening supplies for flowers and everything. And there's of course another seating. Over here we have our midsection, which is just basically where you wrap all the bouquets and have all your supplies and everything, so you can wait for them to be wrapped and prepared. And let's make our way out here and show you guys the exterior for the last time. Alright guys, so I hope you guys really enjoyed today's video, and I do plan on revamping the layout of this town because now that we actually have a Bloxburg beach itself, I don't need to make my own. So I will be changing the layout of this town a little bit, so stay tuned for the next episode because there will be a change to the town, but it will be good because we'll have probably some more buildings and a different type of living area that I plan on doing, so that'll be pretty exciting. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, and as always, I love you all, stay rad, I'll see you next week. Bye everyone.